I can literally feel the energy like coursing through my body right now that it's like difficult to start this video. Today is Tuesday, November 2nd, and it's a significant day because this marks day number 1 of my microdosing journey with magic truffles. And in this video, I want to tell you why I'm going on this microdosing journey. I want to talk to you about my short history with psychedelics and how they've affected me and my realizations of them. As well as I want to talk to you about how specifically I'm conducting this experiment with magic truffles over the next 60 days. But before we begin, a quick disclosure. This is not a recommendation for or against psychedelics. This is for educational purposes only. And we're specifically going to be talking about microdosing magic truffles. For those who don't know, truffles are like magic mushrooms, except they grow underneath the ground and not above the ground. So let's get to it. I'm Brandon Eastman with Be Better Industries, and if you followed this channel, then you know I'm obsessed with growth hacks. I'm obsessed with anything that will help you to live a better life, to make your life more extraordinary, to achieve self-mastery, physically, emotionally, in your relationships, whatever it might be. So, of course, psychedelics have always intrigued me. And to give you a quick backstory, I was against drugs like my whole life. My parents didn't do drugs. My siblings dabbled in them, but they never really talked about it. And I kind of grew up with the mindset of drugs are very bad, stay away from them at all costs. And that helped me in my younger ages. I never even drank an alcoholic beverage until I was literally like 20 years old. I never tried marijuana until I was like 21 or 22. And I never tried psychedelics until a few months ago. And I want to talk to you about that story. But if there's a particular part of this video you want to jump to, there are chapters on this video that you can skip to whatever part makes the most sense for you, the part that you're most intrigued about. But if you're curious about my backstory, I tried psychedelics with a friend for the first time about 3 months ago. And I've done 2 psychedelic trips so far in my life, but they've always intrigued me because I heard so many awesome stories of people having these unique realizations while tripping on mushrooms or LSD or whatever it might be. And I was curious how it would affect me. I'm at a point in my life where I'm building my business. I'm helping to coach people to live better lives. I also work a sales job where I'm a top performer. And I'm always looking for that next thing that can help me to peak my performance. I'm always looking for that thing that will help me to become better. And my friend talked to me about magic mushrooms. And I said to him, tell me about your experiences on them. And he said, well, every experience has been kind of different. He's like, it depends on what stage of your life you're in. It depends on your emotional archetype at that point in your life, whether you're happy with where you're at or whether you're sad with where you're at. And he said, I would not recommend these if you are not in a good place. And I said, well, I'm in a pretty great place right now. Things are going well. I have some questions that I would like answers to regarding my goals and my path and the direction that I'm headed in with my job and with business. I said, so can you make this experience happen? And he says, yes. So we got together about 3 months ago and we each ate 1.5 grams of magic mushrooms. And we mixed them into a bowl of Wendy's chili, and we ate this chili, and you couldn't really taste them. We did try one of the caps of the mushrooms raw, and it didn't taste good, but it didn't taste bad. A lot of people talk about how bad they taste, but anyways, we ate the chili, and 20 minutes go by, nothing. 30 minutes go by, nothing. 40 minutes go by, I finally start to feel something. And I noticed all the colors around were more vivid. It was almost like I was hyper aware of everything that was happening around me. You can literally look at the trees and you can look at the leaves and everything kind of was like blending together, but I was still fully conscious. I was still walking around. We were exploring his property. He lives in this beautiful wooded area, a beautiful environment for an experience such as this. And I felt good. I felt energetic. I felt full of life. We listened to some great music. We had some great conversations. And I said to him, is this what it's supposed to feel like? And he says, well, this is a very mild dose because I just wanted to give you a taste of what this psychedelic world can feel like. I wanted to give you a taste of what to expect. And I said, okay, thank you so much for the experience. And we went our separate ways. A month later, I reach back out to him and I say, let's do this, but for real this time. Let's go all the way. Let's take a heroic dose of magic mushrooms. And he says, okay, if you're up for it, then we'll do it. And he's someone who told me repeatedly, you gotta respect the plant. You have to respect the psychedelic. He's like, you never know the way that it will affect you, right? Especially if you're not sure where the mushrooms are coming from, especially if you're not sure of the source, which is another whole conversation, which is why I read that disclaimer at the beginning of this. Please treat this plant and experience with the respect it deserves, because you could have some incredible insights, but you could also have a rough time at the same time. And we got together again. And this time, we took 4.5 grams each of magic mushrooms, which is technically right below what is considered a heroic dose. And let me tell you, this time, it was a very different experience. And I'm going to go over the entire experience in a separate video at some point to go over the realizations that I had. But all I'll say right now is it was absolutely profound. It changed the way that I think on a day-to-day basis. It's changed the way that I talk. It's changed the language that I use. It was an absolutely profound experience that had its ups and downs, but it was profound nonetheless. So I've been diving into the history of psychedelics, the effects that psychedelics have on your mind, your emotions, your physical body, and I became even more curious of this world. And I stumbled upon this idea and concept that I've heard of before, but not really diving into it until recently, called microdosing. And microdosing is simply the idea that you take a very small amount of the full-sized version of the substance. You can microdose anything. You could microdose coffee, you could microdose Tylenol, you could literally microdose anything, and specifically magic truffles. And really all it is you do 1/10 of a normal dose of magic shrooms, magic truffles, once every few days. And some people do it once every 3 days, once every 4 days. The specific type that I'm personally trying and experimenting with is once every other day. You space it out that way so that your body doesn't build up a tolerance to the substance. Now, just to give you a few of the benefits that I've read on microdosing, because keep in mind, it's just day one right now. I'll talk about my experience so far, but a few of the benefits long term, which is a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it might be, is microdosing magic mushrooms specifically will help you to have a great day each day. I listened to a speech that a woman gave on some big stage at some tech conference, and she talked about how there wasn't just one thing that just popped out at her when it came to microdosing. But what she noticed was every day just happened to be a good day. She had more good days than not. And looking back, it was easy to see, wow, that was a good day. But in the moment, it's not like you're tripping hardcore on this substance. You're not seeing all these imaginary images. Like, you're not having a truly psychedelic experience because all you're taking is 1/10 of the normal amount of that substance. So you get subconscious benefits. A lot of people say that you notice little things that you might not have noticed before. There was a story of one woman who was very depressed, and she mentioned how a week went by and she didn't see much benefit, but the next week after she started microdosing, she started to see like flowers around her. She started to look at nature, and she started to think to herself, wow, that's absolutely beautiful. Look at this flower. Look at the colors. Look at the way it moves in the wind. And she started to see these beautiful things that before she never looked at, she never thought of. So the effects of microdosing and the benefits are very subtle, but they're very powerful at the same time. To give you an idea, microdosing can help you to improve your concentration and focus. It can help you to sleep better, to have more rest. It can give you more physical energy, more enthusiasm. It can help you make decisions easier. It can help give you a better state of mind. It can help you with a positive attitude. It can help you to be aware of yourself in your surroundings. There's a lot of stories of people who actually have come off antidepressant drugs and medication and anti-anxiety medication using microdosing, whether it's LSD or whether it's magic mushrooms or whatever it might be. There's crazy benefits to microdosing. And it's not something that we've started doing in recent times. They've been microdosing since ancient times. I mean, think about it. These are plants that are growing naturally outside, right? At some point, animals went up and ate them, humans went up and ate them. In the Native American tribes, they used to microdose as part of rituals. There's so many different accounts of people who've microdosed for the past thousands of years. It's only something that's been talked about in the way that it's been talked about in recent history. Now, personally, I'm not depressed very often whatsoever. Maybe, for a very, very short period of time over the course of a week, I might have some thoughts that are disempowering, just like all of us do. But I'm not depressed. I'm not overly anxious. Obviously, there's some situations where I'm anxious, so I'm not doing it for depression or anxiety. I'm more so doing it to find even more beauty in my life. I'm more so doing it to have that sense of being present, being in this moment, to maybe even have better conversations, to help me to listen to people in a more effective and in a deeper way, especially with what I do as a coach. And that's really my intention going into this, is to be more in the present moment now. So let's talk about how I'm going throughout this 60-day microdosing journey. The goal of this experiment for me is to microdose over the course of 60 days and report my findings to you as I go. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to create a video every week on this or every 2 weeks. If you think about it, over the course of 60 days, that would be, I'm not that great at math, that would be 4 videos if I did a video every few weeks. And that would give me plenty of time to write down how I feel, to talk about the findings that I have and the discoveries and the insights that are created. And I'm going to share those things with you so that you can make an educated decision on whether you might ever in the future microdose or do anything of the sort. To do this, I'm taking 1 magic truffle every other day in the morning with a glass of water. A few details about my lifestyle so that this can be as accurate a study as it can be is I have an active lifestyle. I have above average nutrition. I'll go to the gym 3 days a week. I try to walk for 30 minutes to 45 minutes every single day. I try to keep moving. I am growing a business while also working a job, while also coaching people and creating content. So I have a very busy lifestyle, and I like to think that I live a semi-active lifestyle. I don't eat food until noon each day because I practice intermittent fasting, like I've talked about several different times on this channel. What's also very important is I don't take any drugs other than the microdose every other day. And the only drug that technically I will be taking is caffeine with my morning coffee, and I get an afternoon cold brew each day. Today was officially the first day of the microdosing experiment. I took a magic truffle this morning at around 5 a.m. And I'd like to say that I feel really focused and full of energy, but I don't know if that's placebo. I don't know if that's truly from the microdose. I don't know if I'm just having a solid day nutrition-wise. I was active today. So I don't quite know if it's from the microdose, but I just wanted to report my findings on 1 day of microdosing. And I'm going to keep you posted, like I said, either every week or every other week. So be sure to hit the subscribe button wherever you're watching or listening to this video so that you can see every new update video that I post about this microdosing journey with magic truffles. And let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let me know if you've ever thought about microdosing. Let me know if you have microdosed. Let me know if you had no idea what this was until you watched this video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button. And I'm really excited to talk to you next time about what this journey looks like for me so far. I'll talk to you soon.